Uh, Hi, uh, my name is Zedrich Santa Maria, and section CIO. This is my try and Sinigang. If you like it, well, you can like, share, and subscribe. So here we start. So, what happened? I started picking out tomatoes for the sinigang we were having for dinner. I wasn't usually the one who assisted my aunt with the cooking. She preferred my younger sister, Meg, for I knew far less in this area, not having the aptitude or the interest. I guess for remembering recipes. That didn't matter today though. This time, Tita Lolling wanted more than just an extra pair of hands in the kitchen. So, what happened? Nothing much. We did what people usually do during funerals. I put the tomatoes in the small palangana, carefully not to bruise their delicate skin, and carried them to the sink. Did you meet her? Are you Lisa? Yes. I had answered that woman the same answer I'm now giving to Tita Lolling. I gently spilled out all the tomatoes into the sink and turned on the tap. The water, like agua bendita, cleansed each tomatoes of the grime from its origins. What did she tell you? Nothing much. She told me who she was. What did she look like? She's pretty, I guess. She was. She looked like she had Indian blood with her sharp nose and deep set of eyes, thickly bordered by long lashes, just like Mom's. She still maintained a slim figure, though she already had children. The woman, upon seeing my curious stare, had explained, I am Sylvia. All my muscles tensed up upon hearing her name. It took all my self-control to outwardly remain calm and simply raise an eyebrow. My reaction caused a range of emotions to cross the woman's face before it finally crumpled and gave way to tears. Suddenly, she grabbed my hand from where it had been resting on the arm of the sofa. Her own hands were damp and sticky with sweat. She knelt in front of me, a sinner, confessing before a priest, so he could wash away the dirt from her past. But I was not a priest. I looked down at her and my face remained impassive. When her weeping had subsided, she raised her head and looked at me. Everyone makes mistakes, Liza. I think they're washed, Liza. Turning up the tap, I placed the tomatoes inside the basin once more. Then, as an afterthought, I told my tita, I don't think she's as pretty as Mom, though. Tita Lolling nodded understandingly. She gestured for me to place the basin on the table where she already had the knives and the chopping board ready. Oh, where was your dad when she was talking to you? Oh, he was sleeping in one of the bedrooms. Mom did not want to wake him up because they told her he had not slept for 2 nights straight. Hi, your mother talaga. I smiled before continuing. When she saw me, Sylvia had already been called away to entertain some of the visitors. Was she surprised to see you? Said Tita Lolling. She knew that I had not wanted to go to the funeral. Actually, she was one of the few people who respected and understood my decision. As I sliced each of the tomatoes in quarters, I replied, No. She gave me a sympathetic look. No choice then, huh? She was forever baffled at the way my mother could be such a martyr when it came to my father and such a tyrant to her children. No. Tita Lolly interrupted my thoughts with another one of her questions. Did you cry? I shook my head, vehemently as I answered, "No." I took the sliced tomatoes, surprised to find not even a splinter of wood in them, as well as the onions. I asked her, uh, what's next? The salt. Then I went and added a heaping tablespoon of salt into the pot. Uh, is that all? Uh huh. Your mom and I prepared it a bit saltier, but your dad likes it this way. Then she gestured towards the pot. I started crushing the onions, tomatoes, and salt together with my hand. My mass of indifference slipped. It felt like a giant hand was rubbing salt into me, squeezing and mashing, unsatisfied until all of me had been crushed. "Stop it, Liza!" Tita Lolly exclaimed. I breathed a sigh of relief. The question had stopped by now. I poured the water into the mass of crushed onions and tomatoes, and added the chunks of meat into it, before covering the pot and placing it on the stove. I turned on the flame. The sinigang needed to simmer for close to an hour to tenderize the meat. In the meantime, I started preparing all the other ingredients that will be added in the pot later on. Taking all the plastic bags, I unloaded their contents into the sink, then washed and drained each vegetable thoroughly before putting them beside my chopping board. I reached for the bunch of kangkong and began breaking off choice sections to be included in the stew. When I was a child, I would always insist on preparing it because I love the crisp, popping sound the vegetable made whenever I broke a stem off. When the kangkong was done, I threw away the top, unwanted parts and reached for the labanos. I used a peeler to strip away the skin, revealing the white, slightly grainy flesh, and then sliced each root diagonally. Next came the string beans. Then I took the vegetables and added them, a fistful at a time, to the pot. As I did so, I remembered the flower petals each to my sisters and I had thrown, fistful by fistful, into the trashy dog grave as the casket was being lowered into it. My dad was crying beside me, I recalled thinking. Would he be the same if I was one who had died? I glanced up at him and was surprised to find that he was looking at me. His hand, heavy with sadness, fell on my shoulder. "I'm sorry," he told me. I let the stew boil for a few more moments before turning off the fire. Sinigang would be served later during dinner. Then he would compliment me on the way I had cooked his favorite dish, and I would give him a smile that would never quite show, not even in my eyes.
Sinigang. The end.